Some tragedies leave behind more than grief. They leave behind mysteries, questions that gnaw at history like an open wound. In 1945, a fire consumed the Sauter family home on Christmas Eve. But as the embers cooled, an even greater horror emerged. 5 of the Sauter children had vanished. No bodies, no remains, just gone. Was it an accident? Or a sinister plot buried beneath the ashes? Fayetteville, West Virginia, Christmas Eve 1945. The Sauter family, George, Jenny, and their 10 children, were preparing for a night of celebration. The younger children had been allowed to stay up late, basking in the warmth of the holiday spirit. But someone, or something, was watching. Shortly after midnight, Jenny Sauter was awakened by the ringing of the telephone. A woman's voice, a voice she didn't recognize, laughed strangely on the other end, asking for someone who didn't live there. As Jenny hung up, a chill crept up her spine. Outside, she noticed something disturbing. The lights were still on, the curtains were open, and a figure stood near the road, watching. Minutes later, at around 1 a.m., the Sauter home erupted into flames. George and Jenny rushed to save their children, but something was terribly wrong. None of the usual sounds of distress could be heard from within. The fire spread unnaturally fast. The telephone line was dead. Their ladder, always kept against the house, was missing. The family truck, which George tried to use to break into the house, wouldn't start. It was as if someone, or something, had planned this. As the fire died down, a chilling realization set in. 5 of the Sauter children were gone. But as investigators searched the ruins, no bones were found, no remains, nothing. Experts claimed the fire wasn't hot enough to completely incinerate human bodies. Even at crematorium-level heat, bones would still remain. But here, it was as if the children had never been there at all. The Sauters refused to accept the official explanation. As they searched for answers, strange clues began to emerge. A bus driver reported seeing 5 children matching the Sauters' description the morning after the fire. A woman claimed she had seen them in a diner, accompanied by 2 men who prevented them from speaking. And then, years later, a photograph arrived in the mail. A young man, his face eerily similar to one of the missing Sauter boys. Scrawled across the back was a cryptic message: "Louis Sauter, I love brother Frankie." What happened to the Sauter children? Theories range from a tragic accident to a kidnapping orchestrated by the Sicilian mafia. Some believe George Sauter's outspoken political views made him enemies willing to target his family. Others whisper darker theories, that something beyond human comprehension was responsible. The only certainty is that, decades later, the fate of the Sauter children remains one of history's most chilling unsolved mysteries. The Sauter family spent their lives searching for answers, but none ever came. Their billboard stood for decades, a haunting reminder of a mystery unsolved. What do you believe happened on that fateful Christmas Eve? A tragic accident? Or something far more sinister? Perhaps, some questions are never meant to be answered. If you enjoyed this story, like and subscribe for more terrifying mysteries from history. Until next time, keep your doors locked and your eyes open. Some stories never end.